Okay, I'm just setting up the live stream. I won't be long. I'm setting up a laptop so I can watch any comments coming through and respond to them. Well, that's the idea anyway. If it works that way, or if I manage to get it working, then it's all good. I think we're just about there. Okay, so I have the live stream up and running. Fantastic. Okay, let's just go and check the volume levels before we get started. So looking at OBS, you can hear me over the top of the sounds of the airport behind us. So in front of us we have the PMDG 777-200LR from PMDG that's just been released a couple of days ago. Well, I think it was yesterday. So we're going to go and take it for a fly. I'm sitting on the ground here at Gatwick Airport. This is the Inibuilds iteration of Gatwick Airport. I'll pin a note to the video when the live stream is finished with links to go and get the airport from Inibuilds and a link to SayIntentions as well. We're going to be using SayIntentions. Also, I'm going to be using a written procedure of my own design to get the airplane up and running. If I go show you it, I'm just verifying it during this flight. So if I put in 777-200LR, so I'm going to be validating this during the flight. So the document goes through how to configure the aircraft, cold and dark, because the PMDG aircraft have a very specific way of managing that. How to set up the Simbrief and the Navigraph integration, and then how to get the aeroplane ready for flight, either manually or via Simbrief, and how to walk through setting up everything in the FMC. And so I'm going to be validating that during this flight. It should be interesting. So we're using SayIntentions in the background with their Living World addition to the simulator. So what does that actually mean? If we go to the drone camera, and I haven't got the Xbox controller plugged in, but all of these airplanes in here, I've turned off the AI aircraft within the simulator. So these aircraft are all coming from SayIntentions, and the liveries are being provided by the livery and the shape sets, if you want to call it that, from oh crikey, I can't think of the name of it, FSLTL. So I've included, or I've installed their library of aircraft and liveries, and SayIntentions Living World is taking advantage of that. So once we turn the radios on in a bit, you will hear these various airplanes you can see around the place are all being controlled by SayIntentions. So you can see there's someone taxiing over there very slowly in the mist and the rain. And you'll be able to hear all of them when we're obviously when we're on the appropriate frequencies to hear them. Okay, so yes, someone's mentioning in the live stream comments the major thing about the LR is its long range. It's got special engines, and yeah, it's specifically configured to do the long range routes. So although we're only flying to Copenhagen today, which is only going to take an hour and a half or so, this thing can fly halfway around the world. We could fly from London to San Francisco without missing a beat. We could fly all the way down to Japan and onto Australia with it, probably. I've not actually looked at the book numbers yet to see what the maximum extents of its range are, but it's a bit of a range monster. So yeah, it's designed to carry a lot of people a long way. That's the easy way of saying it. Okay, so let's go and jump inside the aeroplane. First things first, let's go and check the integrations. So looking at the tablet, we should be able to then go on to the settings. And have we got a Simbrief alias? Yes, we have. I've already done the load. Although it says this incorrectly. I've already updated the Navigraph data. The next time I come into the aeroplane, it wouldn't say that incorrectly. It seems to be a tiny little bug in the iPad that it doesn't reflect that state once you've installed the nav data. And we can see that it's working in terms of the connection to Navigraph, because we've got there's the normal map, and there's the Navigraph map. And we can approve that as well by looking at charts if we wish. So if we come in here, you can see the charts are working. Okay, so we're going to request, I filed the flight plan with Simbrief for our flight today, so we're going to immediately go in and do that. But before we do that, should we do this properly? Go in through all the things. So this is going to be testing my document now. So Shift and 6 should take us overhead. It still does. It's always good. So electrical power, battery on. And then on the EFB, Shift and 9, we're going to go to... Now I'm going to have to try and remember how this works. We're going to have to go to the ground operations and do a ground power request, and it will connect it to the aeroplane. And there it goes. So when it says release, it means it's connected. And then we can go Shift and 6 to go back overhead, and we can put the primary external power on and the secondary external power on. And we can rotate the APU switch to start, and it will flick back to on, and the APU will fire up. We can go and switch ADIRU on. That's the, I can never remember what it stands for. It's the inertial reference unit anyway. Air data inertial reference unit. There we go. I've got it written in my notes. So window heat section, second column in the middle is here. These can all come on while we're waiting for the APU to come up. So we're just warming up the windscreens, and then we can go and put the... Have I missed out doing the emergency lights? No, it's further on. So IFE passenger and cabin utility comes on, and then the emergency lights can go to armed and covered, and then the passenger oxygen can be uncovered and switched on and recovered. So then we're going to jump down and do programming the Simbrief flight plan. So we're going to go Shift and 9 to take us straight to the tablet. We're going to go to the EFB app on the tablet, and we're going to request the data from Simbrief, and there's our flight. So VFA 001. So we just made up a flight plan. A flight number, I should say. So EGKK to EKCH, so that's London Gatwick to Kastrup, Copenhagen. I can't even say it. Okay, so we've done that bit. And you can see the flight plan sketched out there across the map. So we're going to go to the weight and balance app next. So come back out of here. So we're going to the weight and balance first. And within the weight and balance app, we select import W&B from Simbrief. So weight and balance, and there we go. And then we go to the performance tool app, and let me get this right, in the takeoff tab, I'm just following my instructions very closely to see that they're correct and still match this aeroplane. So in the airport section at the top, select import from OFP. We have to go and then get the runway we're taking off from, so we're going to check Simbrief 26 left. Well, that's what the flight plan says. That may change, of course, with wind and weather. But you never know. So this is true at the moment. So then in the aircraft section, import from aircraft. And in the weather section, import the weather. Okay. And then we can click calculate, and that gives us our numbers. So then in the flight management computer, we can press Shift and 3 and come over here, and we're going to go into the FMC. We're going to clear the message, go to pause in it. This is interesting. So I wasn't expecting some of this. So we're going to pick up GPS. So some of this might need to be rewritten in my notes. So reference airport is EGKK. And then we go to routing, and we can do a route request. He says, famous last words, there we go. And it's got the Simbrief route, EGKK to EKCH. It may be that I didn't have to do the initialization. We could have probably gone straight into the route button. Okay, so we did the route request, we pressed the Simbrief soft key, we then say select route. Let me just try that again. Why is this not working? Oh, there we go, it's just taking its time. So let me say load, and it says loading. So there's some pregnant pauses when you're doing this, which unless you know they're coming, you wonder if it's actually doing anything. So route 1 uplink loading, so we can clear the messages out so we know exactly what's happening. And then we can activate that route and execute it. And if we go and look in the legs page, you can see the major part of the route is in there. So then we can go to the departure arrivals page and we can go and set things up. So we were taking off runway 26 left doing the FRANE 1M. Right, so 26 left, FRANE 1M. 26 left, FRANE 1M. Execute. And then we can go back to the index, go to the arrival into Copenhagen, and we can go and have a look. TUDLO 3 alpha into a 04 left. So ILS 04 left, TUDLO 3 alpha, and I think it's the ERPUC. I did have a look at this on Navigraph. Yeah, it's ERPUC that connects up the last waypoint. So execute that. Come back to index, have a look at the legs, and this should all connect up. So there's some vectors in there, look, just before we turn in for the finals. So that's expected. The reason for that, if we go and have a look at the charts, if you zoom out when we're coming in, we'll fly along, sorry, that's the departure. Let's go and have a look at Copenhagen. Yeah, here we go, look. So that's where the vectors would be. Normally you continue on straight past here and until you're given vectors by ATC to turn in. So we'll see what happens with that. Okay, so it's not a very long flight. We need to go and get the rest of the data sorted out. So we're going to do the performance initialization. So press the init-ref button. And we should, in the Boeing PMDG aircraft, be able to go 0 fuel weight and it will calculate it for us. There we go. And then we can accept the data from the system and it all comes in. Then we can go to thrust limit and then go to takeoff parameters. So we want to go and look at the performance data that was on the tablet to find this out. So if I press shift and space, what flap level do we want? Flaps 5, okay. And then we got the numbers of 132, 136, 141. But we'll see. So that's interesting that it hasn't done that. Flaps 5. Oh, there we go. And center of gravity should calculate itself. And then we can just, that's got different numbers, look, because of the flap setting from, that's interesting that it is so different actually. Okay, then thrust limit, takeoff, that's all fine. Okay. So we already checked for discontinuities. We can do a gross flight plan check if we so wish. So if we went and looked in the legs page, and if we change the navigation display, let's take it up to about 40 miles. If we put it on plan mode, you will now see it says center next to the current leg, and we can click the step button to move through our flight plan and see that it broadly matches what we're expecting. Or not that it broadly matches, that it exactly matches what we're expecting. Yeah, and there you can see, look, there's the vectors where it doesn't turn off. So okay, it's looking good. There's the destination airport. So we'll switch this back to map mode. We'll put this back to just 10 miles for takeoff, so we see the first couple of turns very accurately. We'll press the legs button to bring this back to the top of the legs page. Okay, so shift and 1. So we're getting into the realm of starting to configure the aeroplane properly now. So mode control panel, flight directors can come on. Calibrate the altimeter, so I'm going to press comma to do that automatically across the whole aeroplane. Set the initial climb altitude. Now we don't know that, so we're going to go and bring SayIntentions into play and go and get our clearance. So first things first, we need ATIS.
Altitude, and if
so
traffic
information is
service
Zulu.
requested.
Okay.
Read back all runway and hold short instructions.
So we're now going to go to clearance.
Advise on an
and we're going to call clearance. We are virtual 01. So typically, when you call clearance, you're telling them who you are and what information you have. And obviously, our intention is we want clearance to Copenhagen. Gatwick clearance, virtual 001, requesting clearance to Copenhagen with information Zulu.
I'll have your clearance in just a second.
So we'll just wait for them to come through with it. So you could write all this down on a piece of paper, or you can just leave SayIntentions on the screen, obviously, and read it back straight off the transcript, which is really handy. And by the same token, we can click on the frequencies to change frequencies.
Virtual 001. Information Zulu is current. Cleared to Kastrup via the FRANE 1 mic, departure runway 26 left. Initial climb to 6,000. Departure on 118.48, squawk 3423.
Cleared to Kastrup via the FRANE 1 mic departure runway 26 left, initial climb 6,000, departure on 118.48, squawk 3423, virtual 001.
Virtual 001. Read back correct. Ground will be on 121.805.
Okay, so we've got everything we need to know now. So 6,000 feet is the initial climb altitude. That's because it's part of the constraints of the standard instrument departure. We can actually go and turn them on, can't we? I can never remember where this is. Is it data? Yeah, there we go. And obviously the constraints are also written alongside the waypoints on the climb.
Jonathan, boarding has started and the first passengers are aboard the plane.
There we go. So that's the cabin crew talking to us via SayIntentions
Ladies and gentlemen,
as well.
a warm
It's
welcome
great, isn't
aboard
it?
this flight with from London to Copenhagen.
Okay, let's just check how loud all of that
I'm your lead
is.
flight attendant today.
So yeah, you
Joining
can hear
me
me.
are my wonderful colleagues,
I'm
Lars,
going to turn it down a
Ingrid,
little bit
and Eric, who are here to ensure you have a
so you can hear me over them.
Please take your seats.
So we set 6,000 feet. We need to go and set the transponder, so that's down here, and make sure it's switched on. So it's on norm mode.
Don't hesitate to ask us. We're here to help.
We're going to put it on standby for the moment.
And we hope you enjoy your flight.
1 second while I grab the paperwork.
So 3, 4, 2, 3.
I'm the 1 Zulu departure, then as filed. Departure runway 08 right, initial climb to 6,000. Departure on 121.23, squawk 4522, easy 4421.
So we can leave clearance, by the way, now, so we can go over to ground.
Request IFR clearance.
Because that's just people requesting their clearances. So we put the transponder on standby for the moment. We don't need it just yet. So what do we need to do next? Back over to the mode control panel, and let's go and double check what we've got here. So we've set the initial altitude. We haven't set the initial heading. So we're taking off on runway 26 left. So we're going to go and set this to 260 degrees. We won't actually be using that because we've got the flight plan programmed in and we've got the flight directors on. We can actually go LNAV and heading hold, and it will show both. So in other words, it will do heading hold until it realizes it's close enough in flight to capture the route, and then it will switch over to LNAV automatically. So we can do the same with VNAV, and we can. So that means the aircraft will go through the altitude restrictions or constraints automatically. We can also do the same thing with vertical speed mode, so we can set both.
Speedbird 2237 request.
So we can say to the aeroplane, aim for 2,500 feet a minute, but as soon as you realise you're near the VNAV profile, do it instead.
Speedbird 2237 pushback approved.
We can go and set our target airspeed. So because we're in VNAV mode, it's going to say 250 knots
Swift
automatically.
2769er contact tower on 124.23.
Which may be a bit too fast.
Tower, Swiss 2769er.
So I'm going to bring that down, but it will take over and the number will switch off when it goes to auto throttles, so it'll be fine. Okay, auto throttles will kick in, or usually they kick in, I think, when you go to toga on the main throttles. We'll keep an eye on that. I'm not sure how it behaves in this aeroplane. That's a bit bright, isn't it? It's a dull day today. I'm just going to dim that down a bit. Okay, so we've set the navigation modes. So Shift and 2 takes us over to the auto brake. We'll go and put that onto rejected takeoff mode, which just pressurizes it and gets it ready.
Skyway 600, ready for taxi.
We've done the transponder.
Skyway
So we're going to prepare for
600,
pushback.
London Gatwick Airport ground, push and start approved, face west.
So overhead, we're going to go and turn the seatbelts to auto.
600
No smoke
is
into
ready for
auto.
taxi.
We could put seatbelts on.
Taxi runway 08 right by Kilo Romeo
Beacon light goes
Juliet.
to on.
Cross runway 08
So
left,
remember what that
Golf.
is.
Skyway 600.
And then the fuel pumps come on. So there's the hydraulics, here's the fuel, on. I don't think we've got any fuel in the centre tanks because we are light.
Air France
We
82
can check
Tango
that.
Lima, London Gatwick.
So if we
Airport
go
ground,
and look,
start and push approved, face east.
we've hardly got any fuel yet, nothing in the centre
Ryanair
tanks, so there's no point putting fuel pumps on.
759er Tango. Give way to the easy ahead.
Okay, so pumps.
Ryanair 759er Tango.
So we're ready for pushback. So what we're going to do is, now there's a sequence to doing this in the 777s. You have to hold the toe brakes on, but in order to do that you have to take your physical park brake control in the simulator off. So you'll notice if I hold I'm holding a physical button which would do the toe brakes. If I take my physical park brake off, I can now control the toe brakes. Yeah, and by holding them down, the parking brake came on. So that's parking brake, so it came off, I mean. So parking brake is on. If I hold the toe brakes on, it will release. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to request pushback and engine start from ground. Gatwick ground, virtual 001, requesting pushback and engine start.
Virtual 001. Pushback and engine. Start approved. Face south.
Pushback and engine start approved. Face south. Virtual 01. So let's go and have a look and see what that actually means before we do it. So if we go and look at the airport chart. So they want us to face south, obviously, to be able to taxi down, probably via Lima, Romeo or Quebec, and then along Juliet, I would imagine. Oh no, we're going this way, aren't we? 26 left, so it'll be Lima. It might be Kilo.
188 ready for.
But anyway, we need the tail to go to the left.
26 left.
That's our important thing. So let's go and look at the controls.
188. Taxi to runway 26 left
Do
via
we get
Juliet.
to control
November,
pushback in
Bravo.
here? I don't think we do we? We'll see what happens.
Ground Easy 46 Bravo Zulu. Taxi to parking.
So we'll press Alt and P.
Easy 46 Bravo Zulu. Taxi to parking
Which will
by
bring the
Juliet.
tractor in.
Cross runway 26 left at your discretion.
So the PMDGs do have their own
Taxi to runway 26
pushback
left by
controls
Juliet, November Bravo.
in the
Channel
tablet.
188.
So not in the tablet, in
Juliet,
the
cross runway
FMC.
26 left our discretion. Easy 46
But I'm not using
Bravo
them. I'll
Zulu.
do a special video all about it. It's actually quite clever. So we're wanting our tail to go to the right. To our right from this direction. So to our left relative to the
4
aeroplane.
Kilo Whiskey. Push and start approved. Face west.
So
Lufthansa 4 Kilo Whiskey request taxi.
Has this come off? Yes, it has. Why is it not pushing back?
0926 left via Lima, Papa, Bravo. You're doing Lufthansa.
Oh, we haven't removed the chocks. That's my bad. I've gone off script. So the reason it's scraping along the floor is because we haven't removed the ground power unit or the wheel chocks. Remove chocks. There we go. So, there we go. So we were scraping the chocks and the ground power unit across the floor. So this is the problem with talking and doing at the same time. Is incredibly difficult, and you've seen me do this before, where I'll be explaining something that's of interest and go off script. So right in front of me on my checklist there is release the ground power and remove the wheel chocks.
124.2 feet for Channel
All
188.
doors in flight and cross-check. Welcome aboard this flight with VFA 001 from London to Copenhagen. We have the pleasure of flying you today with our captain, Jonathan.
See, look at
and our
that.
first officer,
They've just let us
Amanda.
roll across the ground.
Joining me in the
How
cabin are
great
my
is that?
wonderful colleagues,
So let's go
Lars,
and
Ingrid, and Eric.
stop that from
We are
happening.
delighted to have you with us today. The estimated flight time
Actually,
is
no,
1 hour
what's
and
happened?
1
That's the simulator's gone wrong.
Please
Look.
verify your last transmission.
It still thinks it's pushing
It
back.
seems like there was an error in your
Let me take a
readback.
moment to go over some important safety information.
So I'm going to have to press Alt-P again to make
Fasten
it
your
stop,
seatbelt.
which has
Insert the
triggered
tip
another
into the buckle
tractor.
until you hear a click.
So that's a bug
To release
in the
it,
sim.
simply lift the buckle.
Anyway,
Please keep your seatbelt fastened.
so we're
wherever
ready
you
to
are
start
sitting,
engines.
as we may experience turbulence.
So shift and
In the
6.
unlikely event of a loss of cabin pressure,
We
oxygen
rotate
masks
start
drop down from the panel above you. Pull the mask towards
to
you to start the flow of
start
oxygen.
for
Place it over your nose and mouth.
the engine.
and
We
secure
can
it with
advance
elastic
the
band.
fuel cocks immediately,
Remember to put
and
your
you'll see
own
the engine
mask
come
on
up.
before assisting others. For our overwater flight, we have life vests located under your seats.
Did I put
To use them,
the...
pull the vest out, place it over your head, and pull the straps around your waist.
Yeah, it's all automatic
Inflate
these
the
days,
vest by
isn't it?
pulling the red tabs.
We don't have
or
to
by
go and
blowing
manage
into
the APU in the
tubes.
777.
In the event of an
You know, sorry, bleed
evacuation,
air.
please leave your luggage on board. Your safety is our top priority. Now, let's talk about the emergency exits. There are two
Watch
exits
this from
at the front,
outside.
2 over the wings and 2 at the rear
Now,
of the
you will
aircraft.
notice...
Please
Air
take a
France
moment to
my
82
controls
Tango
are slightly
Lima,
wrong.
London Gatwick.
So I'm going to have to go and do some
Airport ground.
configuration.
Taxi to runway 26 left, via Kilo.
After our meal service, we will
Papa,
be offering
Bravo.
items from the airline shop, so stay tuned for that.
EasyJet 21 Kilo Mike, contact tower on 134.23.
Just going to check the throws of my controls. That's interesting. I've only got one throttle. Why have I only got... Oh, I've only started the right engine. Maybe that's connected. We'll have a look in a
Alien
moment.
3 Lima Golf request. Push and start.
Alien
So
3
we're going to start on the left
Push and
engine,
start approved.
and we'll see what happens. As
Push
soon as the
and
engines
start
are up and
approved,
running,
A-line 3
hopefully...
Lima
Yeah,
Golf.
look. I don't have control of the left throttle. Fascinating. Okay, let's go and have a look in here. See what... This may be something that hasn't carried over then from the other airplanes.
Control on 120.45 7.
I don't think you get to control the calibration though in these
Over to London
airplanes. This
Control
might be
on
a simulator problem.
120.475, City Air 2509er.
Let's go and have a... Of course, we're having to wait for this bug in Sim Update 2, where it takes ages for the controls to appear. I thought I had set, yeah, basic 2-engine, normal axis. Save and back. Resume. So maybe I'm going to pull my throttle quadrant and see what happens. And then plug it back in. It's happier now. There we go.
Speedbird 2237 contact tower on 124.48.
So I'm getting there. I'm just reading the live stream comments. I've only just fired the engines up. So we're going to go and put
Lima Golf ready to taxi.
the hydraulics on next.
Alien 3 Lima Golf, taxi to runway 26 left, via Lima Papa Bravo.
So post-engine start, we come over here, and did we do that without the... yeah, AP is on auto here, look. So, hydraulics. Auto, 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 auto. And the fault light should go out, there it goes. Okay, so prepare to taxi. So taxi lights 2 on. So I've got a message in here about the APU. So, okay, yeah. So now we've got a power and electricity generation from the engines. The APU can come off as well. Sorry, I got distracted then. My other half walked in and talked to me.
Speedbird 003, request taxi.
Ground to flight deck. Bypass pin removed. We've disconnected and crew is clear. You're good to go. Have a great flight and see you soon.
Thank you.
So, taxi light is on. We're going to go and start the transponder. So we'll appear on the likes of Flight Radar 24 in the real world once we do this.
Air France 82, Tango Lima.
So that's already
Contact
on.
tower on 124.23.
Okay, so we're going to go and talk to ground now and request a taxi to runway. Now, which one was it? 26 left, wasn't it? So we'll keep an eye on this chart when we do it. Gatwick ground, virtual 01, requesting taxi to runway 26 left.
Virtual 001. Taxi to runway 26 left via Quebec Alpha Lima Papa Bravo.
Taxi 26 left via Quebec Alpha Lima Bravo, virtual 01. Quebec? Where's Alpha? There's Alpha. That made no sense. There's Lima. Oh, Quebec Alpha. That makes sense, yeah. Lima. And then, where's Bravo? Oh, maybe they just mean the Bravo. Oh, here we go. We need to come in here. But that makes no sense with Lima. There's no connection. Let's have a go and have another read of this. Quebec Alpha, Lima, Papa Bravo. Oh, that makes sense then. Papa, there we go. Lima, Papa, Bravo. Okay. So, parking brake off. Release the parking brake in the simulator. Oh, it's already released. That's good. And we gently roll out. So we're going to get over towards the taxiways. Let's go and put the head tracking on during the taxi.
Speedbird, cockpit to ground, request pushback and have us facing west, please.
United 210, pushback approved, face west. Ground to flight deck, pushback complete. Please ensure parking brakes are set. Standing by for confirmation of good engine start and report when ready for disconnect.
So we have an FMC message. I'm just going to stop us for a moment to see takeoff speeds deleted. Okay, what's caused that? Let's go and have a look. That may be from earlier. This is why you should keep on top of the messages. So we're going init refs. Yeah, it deleted them. Interesting. That's all good now. We're rolling, by the way. I'm aware we're rolling. Okay, we're looking a lot better now. It's ages since I've flown the 777, by the way, which is why I'm a little bit rusty and a little bit at sea at times, looking around for things. I'm remembering as we go. But I'm guilty of flying too many aeroplanes all the time. And again, this is not my day job. This is just a hobby, an interest, an enthusiasm.
Ground EZ76 Delta Golf, taxi to the gate.
So we go along here.
EZ76 Delta Golf, taxi to parking via Juliet. Cross runway 26 left.
So on Lima,
Lima.
Let me go Papa and then Bravo. So next right should be Papa.
A-line 3 Lima Golf, contact tower on 124.23.
Switching to tower, A-line 3 Lima Golf.
So I see we've got Brian from SayIntentions is on the stream. Hello, Brian. No pressure then. I think this is fantastic. The whole Living World SayIntentions add-on is amazing. With all of these aeroplanes being able to actually hear the ones we can see, having their to and fro with their requests and responses between themselves and ATC is fantastic.
Speedbird Victor Bravo, push and start approved, face south.
Push start approved, face south. Speedbird Victor Bravo.
Skyhawk 121 at stand 230 right.
Oh, he got Ronnie on the live stream as well. Hi, Ronnie. So you went and bought the PMDG 200LR as well. I was thinking about doing a long-range flight with it as a live stream, but I think it would be tremendously boring because there'd be nothing to report for several hours in the middle of the stream. Once you get onto the transatlantic track, it's just, yeah, several hours of not much to do. Okay, so how does this actually work? Do we line up alongside them or do we wait behind them? Let's have a quick look at the chart.
Virtual 001, contact tower on 124.23. Take care.
Contacting tower 124.23. Good day. Gatwick Tower, virtual 001, approaching holding point Bravo, runway 26 left. Oh, that's why we're waiting. Oh, look at that landing. Look at the rain kicking up. That's amazing.
01, London Gatwick Airport Tower, hold short of runway 26 left. Traffic on final approach.
Yep, we've just seen them. That's amazing. Holding short, 26 left, virtual 01. So we'll give them a respectful distance and put our parking brake on. So is this an AI aeroplane? Yes it is, because it hasn't got a label. Or it's too close to render a label maybe. They haven't cleared the runway yet, have they? You'd think they would allow them to pull out before this one exits the runway.
Easy 18 Kilo Juliet, contact ground on 121.805.
So while we're doing this, I've just realised I haven't set the flaps for takeoff. So
Switching to ground,
we're all
easy
5
18
degrees,
Kilo
don't we?
Juliet.
There we go. Well, they're still not clear. They've gone incredibly long, haven't they? Why have they gone so long on the runway? So Maverick is saying, how much is SayIntentions? There's a couple of different options. I'm sure Brian can weigh in on the live stream chat. Obviously it depends on what part of the world you live in and what currency you're using in terms of real world cost to you, but it's very good value for what you get. Essentially you're getting worldwide ATC, you're getting worldwide traffic injection of real world routes. It's incredible. So you hear the communication between the aeroplanes you can see and the air traffic services, the same air traffic services that you are going to talk to. also it has another feature called Skynet, where if you are using Flight Simulator with Skynet switched on in SayIntentions, then you and your friends between 2024 and 2020 can see each other. So that aeroplane's now finally pulled off the runway, and now he's coming out. Brilliant. So there's a tweak they might make, I guess, to SayIntentions, which would be really lovely, is if they could allow aeroplanes to line up while another one is still rolling. That would be enormously complicated to do, though, I would imagine.
A-line 3 Lima Golf, holding short runway 26 left, ready for departure.
A-line 3 Lima Golf, wind 310 at 5, runway 26 left, cleared for takeoff.
26 left, cleared for takeoff, A-line 3 Lima Golf.
Okay, where's he going? Does he really need that much runway? And who's that? I've got multiplayer switched off.
Speedbird 952 Romeo, contact departure on 126.825. 4 Alpha Whiskey, contact departure on 126.825.
Is that a human? It's not a human, is it? No, I think SayIntentions has got something a little bit mixed up there. He's going left around him. That's brilliant. He just missed him. Hopefully we'll get called out onto the runway. The runway is now clear.
Golf, contact departure.
Today would be good.
Switching to departure, A-line 3 Lima Golf.
I wonder if we can actually trigger air traffic services to remember we are here. Let's try it. Gatwick Tower, Virtual 001, holding short, runway 26 left. So I'm playing the game here, seeing if I can nudge things in our direction. Gatwick Tower, Virtual 001, radio check please.
Virtual 001, readability 5.
Gatwick Tower, Virtual 001, holding short, runway 26 left, requesting takeoff clearance. Come on. Gonna make us late. I've been on so many flights with
Virtual
work.
001, runway 26 left, wind 300 at 6, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 26 left, Virtual 001. Thank you. Yeah, I've been on so many flights with work where, because of some passenger craziness, like, you know, they've left their bags or whatever, and they've had to remove a bag, so they've had to take everything back out of the aeroplane, and it's made us like 10-15 minutes late. Let's go and skid across the tarmac here and go the proper route. And yeah, it's a cascading series of failures. As soon as the aeroplane's a little bit late, it becomes more and more late because you miss your departure slot, and then you're in the queue behind 20 other aeroplanes. And then you get the game where the pilots are trying to get a few minutes back by descending late with the air brakes hanging out all the way down the descent. And once you know what's going on, it becomes quite amusing. Okay, so we're just lining up. And you can see we've got checklist incomplete because we've only got one pair of hands. We could have done that while we were sat there. So we're going to clear that, clear the caution, pull the checklist up so it's on the screen here. We can go normal menu, pre-flight, we've done that and that. And then before start, we've done that, and that. And then before taxi, we've done that, and that. And before takeoff, there we go. Checklist complete. Amazing. So, we've got another laundry list of bits and pieces to do. So strobes need to go on, which are over here somewhere. And I'm trying to remember where all the switches are. Strobes. Landing lights can go on for takeoff. We can put the TCAS on the navigation. Why have we got no... Oh, we've got the checklist system on, haven't we? I've flicked a switch somewhere along the way and moved the screens around, which is not ideal. So let's go and get rid of the checklist off our display. Now let's see, what have I flicked? It's this, isn't it? There we go. So, we got TCAS switched on, TA only, which is what we want for takeoff. Okay, parking brake off. Toga. Shall we put the head tracking on? So coming through VR and positive rate, gear up. Interesting. Oh, okay. Ross has just kicked in.
126.25, good evening, 5
Gatwick Tower, KLM 559 navigated the runway 26 left.
KLM 559 or say, again, your last transmission, please.
Okay, flaps can come up.
Contact departure on 118.48.
Contacting departure 118.48. Good day. Gatwick departures, virtual 001, departing runway 26 left.
Virtual 01, Lillestrøm departure identified. Climb flight level 090, direct de-ethling 31.
Climb flight level 090, direct to Detling 31, virtual 001. So they've told us to climb, so we disregard our constraints on climb out.
Heathrow radar, Speedbird 977 Juliet, flight level 130.
Which I don't like doing.
Speedbird 977 Juliet, radar contact.
And we go direct Detling.
Virtual 001, climb flight level 220.
Climbing flight level 220, virtual 001. Okay, that's not playing ball. The auto isn't working, is it? There we go. So we do flight level change, we'll go track all the way up to 22,000 feet now. Okay, so we're just coming through the transition altitude, which is why we got the box there, so we can go to standard barometric pressure. Same on the other side. Is it synchronized or not? Oh, it's synchronized, okay. That's one of the options in the PMDG. Next thing is at 10,000 feet, we're going to go and turn the landing lights off. Should we have a look outside now? It's a monster, isn't it? Look at it climb. Crikey. I mean, okay, it's light because we're only doing a short flight, but that's still mad.
London Control, Lufthansa 973, switch to CPDLC.
So 10,000 feet, so landing lights off.
Lufthansa 973, unable to switch to CPDLC communication at this time. Please continue on current frequency.
I'm going to go and switch the passenger
switching to Heathrow radar on 127.4525 Channel 55 Tango Alpha.
Okay, let's increase the range.
We are pleased to inform you that the
Speedbird
use
6
of
Alpha Charlie,
electronic
contact
devices
Heathrow
is
radar
allowed.
on
Feel free to connect to our onboard Wi-Fi
127.5225.
service as well. We hope you enjoy your flight with
Over
us
to
from
Heathrow
London to
radar on 127.525G, Speedbird 6 Alpha Charlie.
Okay, it should be fairly plain sailing the rest of the way. If we have a look on the tablet, we can pull up the EFB app, and that gives us the sectors on the map, so we can see when we'll be
Virtual 001, climb flight level 310.
climbing flight level 310, virtual 001.
American 137, radar contact.
So because we haven't got there yet, that's just moving the target further away, so the aeroplane will carry on climbing. It climbs like nobody's business, doesn't it? But then we've got a powerful aeroplane, and it's almost empty because we're only doing a short flight. This plane carries enough fuel to fly 2/3 of the way around the world, and we're just flying, you know, hour and a half down the road. So it's incredibly light, and it's going upstairs like a bat out of hell. The weather today in the UK is awful. After a heat wave the last few weeks, you can see this low pressure has come in, and it's just dumping water on the south of the UK. It's quite interesting to see it. I mean, look at it. You can just see bits of land in there. There was an amber weather warning yesterday for flash floods and thunderstorms. For today, it's been okay so far. I think we slept through it in the early hours in the morning, most of it. So I dread to think how heavy the rain was in the night. It needed it though. The weather's been so muggy recently. So yeah, I think we do have Brian Crawley from SayIntentions on the stream. So if anybody has any questions for him about SayIntentions, feel free to ask. I'm sure he won't mind. As I said, it's been a game changer for me. I've mentioned this many times in the past. It's such...
Virtual 001, climb flight level 380.
Climbing flight level 380, virtual 001. It's been a game changer, yeah. It's made it so much more immersive. What did they say? 380, yeah, 38,000 feet. Let's go and have a look at our flight plan. Was that our... Oh, it's 41,000 was our cruise altitude. Okay, that's high for such a short flight. Ah, so David Black's in as well. Fantastic. But yeah, SayIntentions have been so busy recently. I can't imagine the mayhem that must have been going on with trying to get all these different products ready for go live.
London Control, Speedbird 754 Bravo, flight level 180.
So I've mentioned before, I work in software development.
Bravo, radar contact.
I actually work for one of the biggest Microsoft partners in the UK. And yeah, we work on some big corporate projects. I can't imagine what this was like to build, doing the traffic generation and alongside the communications as well. So David's mentioning there in the live stream comments about the CPDLC. I've not really looked into that yet, so that would be really fascinating to learn about that. Is there much information? I'm guessing there's information on the website about it, but I've not actually looked. I've not really had enough time recently to delve into things like that. I've been basically flying the aeroplanes as they come out and I'm doing my best to keep up. I have a queue of airports to go and look at that I just haven't got to yet.
Virtual 001, climb flight level 410.
Climbing flight level 410001. So, oh, that's interesting. We've just got some more information that's popped up. Presumably because we're getting near to cruise, it's kicked in to tell us this information. I don't know, you'd have to read the book.
London Control,
we've got insufficient
Contact 1
fuel.
Yankee Bravo, flight level 390.
I wonder if that's because of
radar contact.
Because we were held for so long and I was talking for so long, and do we get the... Interesting. We got a tailwind all the way though. I wonder if it takes that into account. Yeah, we got a strong tailwind, or fairly strong. If we go and look at the barbs, at 40,000 feet. Oh, I've only got a 20 knot tailwind. Oh, that's a shame. Normally you get like 100 knots at this altitude. But it might help. And then obviously the descent down from 41,000 feet is going to be long. So we'll probably be okay. Let's go and look at the burn down on the legs. So fuel, next page, next page, next page, Park 13. No, we've got tons of fuel. What's it talking about? But maybe that's, you know, against the estimate, it's saying it's sufficient. That's weird that it's saying it though. How odd. We'll keep an eye on it. You can admire the aeroplane now. It's a monster, isn't it? Should we go and have a wander around the cabin while we have the chance? So we're going to sit up, use the view keys. Oh, can we not click on the curtains? I'm sure in... Oh, maybe it's the A350 that has the swishing curtains. I thought you'd be able to click on them. Unless they've just missed it and they haven't implemented it. I don't know.
Eurowings 1247 London Control, contact Heathrow radar on 125.625.
5, Eurowings 1247.
Baron 58 Zulu Golf, London Control, roger. Upminster QNH 1030.
1030, thank you.
So Mr. Joe is asking in the live stream comments about the Microsoft planes kicking in the simulator. If you're using SayIntentions and using the active world, or living world, sorry, you need to go and turn off the traffic in the simulator. So I've turned off all of the air traffic, both on the ground and in the air, via the online menu and the general menu in 2024. It's slightly different in 2020, but you need to turn everything off to do with aeroplanes that comes from the simulator. Also, I've turned off the ATC sound in the simulator. So I'm only getting the ATC sound from SayIntentions. Otherwise, you tune in a real frequency, you're going to get the ATC talking. You know, especially with ATIS and things like that. So yeah, it makes sense. So I'm not talking about models, I'm just talking about the live traffic. I'm hesitant to pause the sim in case it messes up SayIntentions to go and show you the settings. But you need to go into your online settings and get rid of the live aircraft then. And you also need to get rid of the ground traffic. Aha, so Mr. Joe is saying everything's already off. So maybe that's, yeah, so the other thing to look at is the sound for the air traffic services. So just switch it off inside the sim. The other thing you might be experiencing is the chatter. So the reason it would happen, SayIntentions has this function where it caches conversations, and there's a slider in the settings to allow it to fill dead space on the radio with previous conversations. So if you are hearing random conversations, it may be because you've got that set in SayIntentions to allow it to fill the dead radio space with something to listen to while you're flying. I think it's a cracking idea, by the way, because if you are in the middle of nowhere or the middle of the night, or you've wound time back and there's obviously going to be nobody around, it will make it sound a bit more busy. Aha, so it is the Microsoft ATC that's coming through. Yeah, so go and look for the sound settings to shut up the Microsoft ATC. So it will still happen, you just won't hear it. There are several bugs with the Flight Sim ATC with it kicking in, especially if you put a flight plan into the world map screen. So that's why I always start with a free flight and have no plan on the map screen, because who knows what sort of automated idiocy the SOMVA developers will have built into that. Yeah, so just reading that comment there about the 200LR being cheaper than the 200ER. I wonder why that is. There's mysteries known only to the marketing department at PMDG, I would imagine. I imagine they're selling it for what they can get away with. So did they ask us to transfer over frequencies? No, they haven't. We're still on London Control. And we said we were expecting to be handed over. Oh, it's going to be coming soon, look. We'll leave London Control and go over towards... Now, who will it be? Let's go and have a look. Turn the wind barbs off for a moment. No wind barbs. Put the sectors on. So we will be leaving... That's interesting. That implies, yeah, so it's this line here. So we'll go into Amsterdam airspace for a while. And then we will cross over. Oh, this doesn't drag. We'll cross over into Northern German airspace, I guess. Over here in Bremen. Yeah, it's a bit of a mess in Little Navmap trying to figure this stuff out. I'm not sure that Navigraph is much better at it. Obviously if you zoom out then you get the nice diagram we were on about. There it is, look. Amsterdam FIR. So you can work it out then. Whoa! How did I manage that? And then over here will be Hanover.
Good evening, November 851 Tango Bravo with you at flight level 035, pass incline flight level 060 outbound for Birmingham.
Copenhagen.
November 851 Tango. Bravo, London Control identified. Cleared direct DT31. Climb flight level 180.
So we've got a relative peace and quiet for a few minutes.
Direct to DT31 and climbing flight level 180. November 851 Tango Bravo.
So let's go and put the progress screen up on the second FMC. And the fuel warning's gone away, look. That's bizarre. I wonder what triggered it. You'd have to really know the aeroplane inside out to know what caused it. Because this is showing we'll have several tons of fuel left when we land. Okay, so I'm just putting 2 and 2 together looking in the live stream comments. Is Mr. Joe who I think it is, that has the YouTube channel and has done some amazing videos visiting various other professional pilots and joining them on their flights? Or is it somebody else? Oh, it's a different Mr. Joe. I think there's a pilot Joe that has a YouTube channel. Too many Joes. My family call me Joe, by the way. Which makes no sense. It's not a traditional shortening of Jonathan or John.
London Control, Jordanian 115, flight level 350.
I'm definitely going to get a t-shirt made though with not a real pilot written on it, and I'm going to start selling them, I think, because so many people have said, oh, that's such a good idea. And maybe a baseball cap as well. It needs to be quite understated though, doesn't it? Why are we going so slowly when the auto throttle is on? It's on LNAV. That's odd. Flight level 0.8, sorry, Mach 0.8 it should be doing, and it's doing 0.75. Why is this not?
London Control, KLM 89er
Normally
Alpha,
LNAV
flight
would
level
take control
210.
of the speed.
KLM 89er Alpha, radar contact.
Is this a difference in the aeroplane, or is it that it should have done it and it didn't? It should have been doing 0.833. So it's doing it, but that's interesting. I should have noticed that earlier. That's obviously why we're not getting the fuel warnings, because we've just been piddling along at a significantly slower speed than we had on our flight plan. So yeah, VNAV. Oh, sorry, VNAV's disconnected, hasn't it? That's why. I'm being slow. I was looking at LNAV then, thinking it was VNAV. It's been a long week.
Amsterdam info on
Let's put it that way.
124.3.
It's been a very, very long week
Amsterdam
actually,
info on
for things completely
124.3,
unrelated.
Beeline 8 Mike Papa.
Completely unrelated to me being on the sim or work. It's been an incredibly long week. A week I never want to have to experience again. I can't tell you anything about it though. So this is something of a relief to sit down in front of the simulator and have some fun. Good day, Max. I'm not going to try and pronounce your surname because I'll probably get it wrong. Oh, that's much appreciated, Brian. Yeah, I'm always hands up. You know, I'm not a real pilot. I am going to get procedural stuff wrong. I am going to drop the ball, and I'm going to make mistakes, and I'm always, you know, completely transparent about that. But I think half the fun is recovering from mistakes, because there's always something to learn, or something you didn't do, and you realise afterwards that you've missed it, and you can always go back and see if you can recover. And I think one of the most instructive things for anybody new coming in is the importance of learning how the FMCs work and how the guidance systems work, to be able, when you get instruction from ATC, to carry out their instruction quickly. So it may be, you know, changing the runway you're landing on, which means reprogramming the arrival. It may be doing vectors and going to selected heading and altitude all of a sudden. Whatever it is, there's a lot of benefit in knowing how the aeroplane actually works, or the guidance systems. So Max is saying he thought I was a real pilot. I'll take that as a huge feather in the cap, I guess.
Virtual 001, contact Amsterdam radar on 118.805.
Contacting the Amsterdam radar, 118.805, virtual 001, good day. Amsterdam radar, virtual 001 with you at flight level 410 en route to Copenhagen.
Virtual 01, Amsterdam radar identified. Good afternoon.
At this altitude, there's nothing much going to get in our way. We can pull up the aircraft in a little nav map to see them, though. Actually, I'm not running transmitter, am I? I could do a big sales pitch on that, couldn't I? If I put the AI aeroplanes in, there we go. So I wrote this little program for people that are doing group flights a long time ago, and I've just upgraded it recently. This is called transmitter. Let me move this out of the way. And what it's doing is transmitting our location in the world to the internet. And if you go and look in the links and go to the radar display, those are the people that are running transmitter right now. And where it's a little bit clever is when you zoom in, it puts a little label on your aeroplane. There we go. So, oh, I've got the wrong call sign. Let's go in here. So I am virtual, was it VFA 001 today. So if I go and connect that, I had a dam buster Lancaster the other night, which is why I've got that call sign. This will vanish in a moment. So that was my previous transmission. In 1 minute, that will disappear off the map. So you can see it's rendering me, but it's also rendering lots of other people around the place. So there's some friends, look down here, and you can drag the lines around so we can figure out who's who. And where it gets really clever is it can do interpolation.
Contact Schiphol. Approach on 118.08.
So it's only redrawing. Oh, that wasn't for us, was it?
On 118.08 KLM 56 Bravo.
So it's redrawing every 5 seconds, but if we turn on interpolation, the next update it would start smoothing it out. So you can now see them moving. That's cool, isn't it? You can also swap out the background to have different colour schemes. So you can have topo maps as well if you want. Or you can have it looking like a radar. You can also pull up a list of who's using it at the moment and drag that around on the screen. You can also go and click on somebody to go and zoom in on them and track them. You can track somebody specifically if you want and light them up, and it will keep the map centered on them every time it updates. So if you're doing a group flight, that's what it's really for, because there's nothing like this in the sim, which is a real shame. But I built it when 2020 came out, and then I kind of put it to one side because there were so many people using it and it wasn't built really to scale enormously. So I rebuilt it recently to scale, so it's using RAM on the web server rather than any sort of database, so it can handle thousands of people at once. It's never going to be a problem. So it's all open source. You can go and grab it from Virtual Flight Sorry, from my GitHub channel. So yeah, that's transmitter. I'm sure, while I was building transmitter, I thought, I wonder if SayIntentions will ever do like a live map. And of course they have got that. So if we go to SayIntentions on the internet, I'm not sure how many people know about this, because it's fantastic. If we go to the, is it in the pilot portal? I can't remember. Or is it in here? The live flight tracker, there we go. So we can get, it's just loading the live flights. There we go. So it's loaded all of them. And if we go and zoom in down here, we'll probably see ourselves somewhere. Whereabouts are we at the moment? Let's have a look. We're just crossing over towards Amsterdam. Why are we not on here? Oh, this is going to be showing... That's a bit of a mystery. I was expecting to see myself. Click the Skynet. Oh, there we go, sorry. So then I can see, I should see virtual VFA 001 will be down here somewhere. My word, there's a lot of people using this name. In the early days, this was quite quiet, and it's not anymore. Let's do a Control F and search for VFA. Nope. Search for... No. What's going on? Anyway, I'm sure this is a work in progress as well, because I don't know how they're doing all this. There must be so much plate spinning going on. So we're showing Skynet traffic. Let's show all flights. Oh, have I not got Skynet switched on? Anyway, I'll put that to one side. There's something for me to look at another time. But yeah, so I was building out transmitter thinking, I wonder if SayIntentions will ever have a map that, you know, replicates this sort of view in little nav map, because these are the SayIntentions aeroplanes that are around me. But obviously that is limited because it's coming from the simulator, so it's only within about 100 miles or so. So you look further away, and in reality there's going to be, you know, aeroplanes across the whole world being simulated all at once. So this is reading from Flight Simulator, not from SayIntentions themselves. So they're injecting the planes into my local airspace. But there's a lot more going on than we can see. Yeah, let's try that once more. So if we go to... So it should work. I've seen it work in the past. More live flight tracker. And then click on, oh, there we go, live flights. So Skynet. Have I not got it switched on in the client maybe? SayIntentions.AI. Settings. Multiplayer. Enable Skynet multiplayer traffic. Interesting. Maybe there's a bit of a... I've just discovered something by accident that should have been working. It's always the way, isn't it? Click the view link at the top. Yeah, there's something gone astray there, I think. Oh well, not a disaster. It's one of those nice to haves that when you discover, oh, maybe we need to tell somebody about that. Happens to me every day at work. So yeah, I did start looking at transmitter to see. Where is it? radar. So obviously you can see there's only a handful of people using it, because only a handful of people know it exists so far. I did start looking at transmitter to see if I could put the flight plan on, but that would imply having a database to have the navigation data, and that's a bit of a nightmare. And I could lean on the code that the guy, Alex, that wrote Little Nav Map. He's written a very nice utility that scrapes the data from Flight Simulator. That's obviously that's what's behind the database update in Little Nav Map, but it's a huge amount of work to go and integrate that, to be able to then, you know, figure out what someone says their flight plan is and to get the nearest waypoints and all the rest of it. It's not a simple task. Also, the other thing I would have liked to have done, which I started looking into, is when you do get an airport, say it's your destination, to draw a ladder either side of it with the mile markers on it, which would have been quite nice, but again it's a lot of work. And if you go and look at the way things like Euroscope work, they cheat and they've got vector maps which they rely upon to put the ladders in place on the runways. Anyway, we ought to keep an eye out to see how far away we are from top of descent. So it's there, look, just before the TALSA. TALSA waypoint. So we've got about 100 or 200 miles to go until descent. Just having a quick look around, see what we haven't done. Probably lots of things. Does this version have the... No. I was going to say, does the... I don't know if any of the 777s have the head-up displays. It would be retrofitted back here, wouldn't it? If it was. And there's a doorway in the way on this one, look. So it would have to be up here, I guess, where that vent is, to be able to make it appear here. Unless it could all be fitted up into the roof somehow. Because I don't know whether anybody knows this, the PMDGs are really clever the way they do this. If you go and look in the menu and you go to PMDG setup and go into aircraft and equipment, there's 12 pages of optional extras or configurable hardware and systems. And when you load a livery up, one of the official liveries from PMDG, they have replicated the real world aircraft in terms of what hardware it has and you know, what the typical configuration is for that airline. So it's not just the colours on the outside of the aeroplane, actually the cockpit. So various panels, like things like the various switchgear and stuff, and the most common one is you'll get a different mode control panel made by a different company. There are variations out in the real world, and the side panels as well for the... I can never remember what this is called. Is it ICAS or ECAM? ICAS, isn't it? So they get slightly different models of all this hardware. And I know certainly on the 737s they're quite different to each other, but I don't know whether the 777 has options around that as well. Clock type, there we go, look, we can have an analog or a digital clock, we can have all sorts of different things. We can have whether the flight test package is installed, what call-outs happen from the systems on board, whether we want the terrain to show water in cyan or not. So if we put yes on, if we go and turn on terrain mode, then you get the water showing up. It's all sorts of little bits and pieces you can switch on and off. It's very cool, isn't it? Oh, I've been given instructions to go back to the flight tracker and have another look. So hit refresh a couple of times. Skynet. Well, that just brings us down here, doesn't it? So view. And refresh. I should just be crossing landfall, shouldn't I? Oh no, I'm already over there, so I'm already over the top of the Netherlands. Going that way though. That's weird that it's not showing, isn't it? So these are the Skynet aircraft with the little circles on them. For some reason I'm not showing up. Very odd. I'll do a Control F5 and see what happens. Get it to do a full restart of the JavaScript web app. And highlight the Skynet aircraft with the view button. Yeah, it's not showing me for some reason. Oh well. Not the end of the world. So let's go and familiarise ourselves while we're en route with the arrival and approach. So do we have any constraints to deal with on the way in? So flight level 120, so 12,000 feet, 250 knots at Corsa. And then we're into this racetrack arrival. Then we got vectors at Irpak, at which point we wait. You know, we maintain that direction until we're given vectors back in. Interesting. Okay, and let's go and double check. So we want 110.5 and 37 degrees. Let's go and check that in the radios. 110.5, 37 degrees, that's all correct. We'll bring the range down on this. Start cranking it down every time we get closer. I'm flying a stealth bomber. Yeah, that might explain it. I've coated it in radar absorbent materials. Oh, it's because it's got the PMDG livery, isn't it? It's not a real livery, therefore it's invisible. It's not real. It's imaginary. A bit like Wonder Woman's aeroplane. Hello, what did that? Was that a friend request coming in? And another bug in the simulator? Okay, so the aeroplane though, we're here today really to look at the PMDG Boeing 777, the 200LR, and it's working fine. There's been some failures on my part a couple of times. For example, not putting the VNAV on, or doing something that triggered VNAV to release, which was
Amsterdam info, Ryanair 87 Tango Echo, flight level 340.
I won't get a high GPU usage alert. It won't happen. I'll show you why. I'm nowhere near maxing it.
Lufthansa 656, descend flight level 100.
Descend flight level 100, Lufthansa 656.
Lufthansa 656, contact ship hole approach on 118.08.
Trying to remember the name of the girl we've got working the cabin crew today. Let's go and have a look. Intercom. Channel 2 is Astrid. Okay. Hi Astrid, can we get some coffee in the cockpit please? I love doing this. Oh, has SayIntentions gone wrong? It's thinking. Why is it thinking? Hi Astrid, can you hear us in the back there?
Virtual 01, Amsterdam radar. Expect the Tuttle 3, Charlie arrival. Anticipate descent in about 15 minutes.
expecting the TUDLO 3 Charlie arrival, anticipating descent in about 15 minutes. Virtual 01, thank you. So it's still the same arrival, TUDLO 3C. We can see that on our chart here. So TUDLO, which we should see in our legs. There's TUDLO.
Virtual 01 Amsterdam radar. Expect the TUDLO 3. Charlie arrival. Expect to descend in about 15 minutes. Reach out if you want an early start.
So I'm not going to respond again. Sometimes SayIntentions gets a bit mixed up if you confirm an informational communication and it says it again. But once you get used to it, it's fine. Okay, so maybe something had gone wrong behind the scenes. Let's go and pop open this and show it again. Just refreshed. And go and look over the top of, I think we're in here now. There we go, we're appearing, hurrah! So you can see our flight plan. Very good. That's awesome.
Virtual 001, expect the TUDLO 3 Charlie arrival. Prepare to descend in roughly 15 minutes. If you'd like to descend now, just say the word.
Yeah, something's going a little bit wrong this morning, isn't it?
Good afternoon, DFL 361 in your airspace, descending flight level 070.
So I'm going to try calling the cabin
DFL 61 Amsterdam radar, good afternoon.
Cabin crew, can you hear me?
For the ILS runway 18 right approach into Schiphol, North 2 OVA arrival, DFL 361.
Let's go and have a
DFL
look.
361, contact
crew,
Schiphol approach
Amsterdam.
on 118.08.
Let's go and set the controls, make sure that that hasn't messed up. So intercom PTT channel 2 is on button number 5. PTT channel 1 is that button. Okay. Cabin crew, can you hear me? What's going on with this today then? Let's go and try somebody else. Mara from Germany. Okay. Hi Mara, can you hear us? Aha, so Brian is saying that maybe this explains why we're not getting feedback from the cabin crew as well then. There's a SayIntentions are being swamped by everybody using it. They're a victim of their own success at the moment. Going to be turning the knob up on Azure or wherever they're hosting it. What about the what about our co-pilot? Should we ask her? Say, hi Amanda, can you take over radio comms for the next few minutes, please?
Sure, Jonathan. I'll handle the radios for now.
So that was our co-pilot, that was Amanda, and she's going to be looking after talking to ATC and responding, and I'll just follow instructions along the way. Oh dear. So I may go, we got what, 90 miles until top of descent.
29 Echo, we have asked for a revised cruise level of 380. Can we have cruise level 380 please?
ED29 Echo, climb flight level 380. Scandinavian 157, Amsterdam radar. Contact Bremen radar on 126.325.
So are we getting anywhere near a sector change? No, and we're going to be alive a little while until we're in the next airspace. It's a shame you can't show airspace lines on here, isn't it? On the navigation display. I guess.
Virtual 001. Contact Bremen radar on 120.225.
It's interesting.
Switching to Bremen radar on 120.225.
Of course, I
Virtual
don't have to
01.
Because there we go. Watch this comm radio. So she's keyed it in, and then we'll transfer it over, and then she'll communicate with them. Well, I'm hoping she will. Okay, I'm going to jump in. Hi Amanda, I'll take over radio comms.
Virtual 01. Good afternoon. Maintaining flight level 410. All right, Jonathan, you're in charge of the radios now.
Hi cabin crew, can we have a coffee in the cockpit please? Yeah, they're still not responding. Oh well. I think maybe there's a hostage situation going on. Although we'd hear it with the door open, wouldn't we? I mean, there's me laughing about this. I think Brian's having a bit of a meltdown. Raising tickets at 100 miles an hour. Watching their server load graphs going bright red with everybody going and buying SayIntentions accounts. And it's a rainy day. This is the problem. It's a rainy day in the UK specifically and across a lot of Europe. So people are going to be stuck indoors playing with Flight Sim. Sorry, I shouldn't find it funny, but I know how these things work. I just yesterday, because I've built the what's it called, the airline at Virtual Flight Online, and a few days recently there's been so many people using it, it's been untrue. There's a few people using it this morning that were on flights. But the website uses Font Awesome icons everywhere, and so does Transmitter actually. So as it becomes more popular, all of these icons are from Font Awesome. And I've blown through the kind of, I think it's 100,000 requests you can have in a month. I've blown through it like almost immediately. So I'm going to have to host my Font Awesome fonts locally to do that, which is a bit of a shame, really. I mean, I shouldn't laugh, but I have got a VM running on DigitalOcean, so I'll just go and put them there and host my own instead of using their CDN. But it was bizarre though, the cost of getting like up to 1 million Font Awesome requests
Bremen radar, Eddie had
would cost more than the hosting of the website.
Eddie had 19 Golf, radar contact.
I'm just looking at Mr. Joe's comments. I don't know if they use Jira behind the scenes or DevOps or whatever they're using, but check your cabin crew PTT if you can. Okay. Hi cabin crew, how are things going in the aeroplane? Is keying the microphone? And we were able to talk to the co-pilot. So let's ask the co-pilot and make sure that's working. Hi Amanda, how is the flight looking so far?
Flight's going smoothly, Jonathan. We're on track for the TUDLO 3 Charlie arrival into Copenhagen. Expect descent in about 9 minutes.
There we go. So yeah, I can confirm if we go and look in SayIntentions itself in the client. If I key the microphone for the cabin crew, if you watch the thing down here, oh sorry, intercom look is coming on. And I have gone and rechecked that it's mapped to the correct channel. Should we try a different intercom? So rather go to cabin crew, let's go to mentor. And we'll go for Chance from Real Sim Gear because he's easy to listen to, better than me. And we'll say, hi Chance, can you tell us all about the Boeing 777?
Radar on 127.78.
127.78, goodbye.
I wonder if it is a configuration issue. Because I'm not getting anything on channel 2. Which would imply it's actually a intercom channel 2 isn't responding at all. That would imply something else, wouldn't it? So maybe this. So if I go and delete that, intercom PTT channel 2, and I want to press it to do that button. So it's on my pilot stick on one of the buttons on its base, which is that one, button 5, should trigger that. Okay. Hi Lance, can you tell us all about, sorry Chance, can you tell us all about the Boeing 777? Yeah, intercom 2 isn't working for some reason. Oh well. The LR is fantastic. So it's chugging along at 41,000 feet. We're about to start descent in a few minutes. Should we ask for an early descent actually? Which controller are we talking to? Bremen Radar. Bremen Radar Virtual 001 requesting start of descent. Ooh, I think SayIntentions might have some problems. Bremen Radar, radio check please, Virtual 001.
Virtual 001, roger, readability fine.
Bremen Radar, Virtual 001 requesting start of descent. So we're going to start descending without instruction. It looks like there's some issues going on in the network today. So we're going down to flight level 120 and we'll target 250 knots. Well, actually we could do it now, couldn't we? But 120. So if we press the button on VNAV, it should go to a... I'm not sure actually with this aeroplane.
Virtual 001, descend flight level 300.
Somebody just pressed reboot on something. Descending flight level 300, Virtual 001. Someone just kicked a server, haven't they? Recycled something. I'm sure it's far more complicated than that, but... Oh... They've dropped the ball somewhere with the acceleration on these switches. So we'll do a flight level change to get down to 300, which will make it ignore the VNAV for the moment. We may go back onto VNAV later. And we'll hold 250 because that will put us in a good spot for the constraint at Corsa. So we're just coming in over the top. Oops, let's show it on the little nav map. It's a little bit nicer, isn't it, to see the countries and the borders. So yeah, we're still over northern Germany at the moment. That's what I wanted to check. I thought we weren't in Denmark yet.
Virtual 001, descend flight level 120.
descending flight level 120, virtual 001. So let's get this back over here. So they're basically giving us the instruction for Corsa. So that sets that as the target altitude. And we can see the green bar here.
November.
Corsa is here though.
1 Sierra Victor radio check.
So we're not descending quite quickly enough. So what
November
we might need to do...
421 Sierra Victor, ready to copy IFR.
Remember we have a tailwind. So what we might have to do is throw the spoilers out a little bit on descent. We'll see. So you can see flight level 120 or below. Once we get to the Corsa VOR. Now we're scheduled to get to that altitude, but not until about another 10 miles on. So if we go and throw the spoilers out now, it's only coming down at 1800 feet a minute, and the throttles have gone to idle though. Let's go to throw the spoilers out, and you can see the green bar come in immediately. So we've just gone to the first stage of spoilers, or speed brakes I should say. So they're just... look, they've only just cracked open and it affected that descent so markedly. It just shows how efficient these aeroplanes are, that even the smallest amount of drag causes quite a huge effect, look. Yes, I know I'm below profile. I'm descending early on purpose, so I get time to talk.
Virtual 001, descend flight level 040.
That's interesting. Descend flight level 040, virtual 001. So I'm going to go back to VNAV. As far as I'm aware, and a professional pilot can confirm or deny this, the
Virtual 001, contact Copenhagen control on 121.38.
when you're descending, you have to hit the constraints. If you're given an altitude instruction on departure, you can go straight to it and ignore any constraints. But on approach, you obey the constraints, which is why I'm going back to VNAV. So it'll probably go to... That's interesting that it hasn't gone to 1,000 feet a minute. Maybe that's an Airbus thing. But we're not going to get down in time, are we? I'm going to have to turn VNAV off.
Tango Oscar Yankee, contact Langen, info on 128.
Actually no, because we're going to turn back. Yeah, that's fine. But we need to be at 12,000 feet by Corsa.
Give me 1 second for that clearance.
Contacting Copenhagen control 121.38 virtual 001. Copenhagen control virtual 001 with you at flight level 300 descending to 040 for the TUDLO 3A arrival into Copenhagen. I should have known all of that up front, shouldn't I?
Virtual 01, Copenhagen control identified. Good afternoon.
So Sam Guilford is saying the same thing that went through my head when I started looking at this morning, when I was just checking, you know, that it was loading into the simulator correctly. I looked at a flight plan to fly immediately from London to San Francisco with it, because it can do it, or to go down to towards Japan and Australia, because it can do it. But it would mean the simulator just running and heating the room with the computer all day, which probably isn't the best idea. Okay, let's bring the range down on the navigation display. so we can actually see there's core. So let's go and set our altitude to get the estimate. We know we're going for 4,000 feet eventually. We're going to go back to 12 to make sure we hit the mark. We're going too fast as well. It's because we got VNAV on. How do we stop VNAV? Flight level change to 12,000. And then we can say 250 knots. Yeah, we know the speed brake's extended. We've done that on purpose. And we're going to go full spoilers to get rid of the speed, and then it will take control. Yeah, we go. Look, we're pretty much on track. We're trying to get rid of some speed at the moment, and then we can relax the spoilers just to make sure we get to the course of VOR at the right altitude. How much can we relax the spoilers? The aeroplane's trying to stabilise itself out and doing quite a bad job at it. So as you'll see, we've got the spoilers open a little bit more. The aeroplane wings are flexing around. Let's go a bit more then on the spoilers. Let's see what happens. There's our altitude estimate. That's about right. We'll see if it holds it. No, it can't hold that either. So the only reason I've put 12,000 feet back in is to make sure we've got the good estimate to come through the constraint at Corsa. I'm pretty sure it's the 777, and we've got a couple of minutes to look at this. I'm not sure where the stairway is. Let's go and have a look. It might be in here. There is a bedroom above. So if you imagine, if you look at the curve of the body, there's quite a lot above here. And obviously there's various systems up there. But this, I think, is this doorway, leads to a ladder or stairs. There's a bedroom, obviously for those long-range flights, because the crew need to be able to rotate, so they get to have a sleep. So there's more than one crew on the aircraft for the very long-haul flights. I saw it on a documentary a while ago. I say bedroom, it's more of a, you know, like the Japanese hotels where there's like a, how would you put it? Like a pod that you sleep in, where it's, how would you put it? Is there just about enough room to sit up in it? There we go. So it's got a comment in the live stream about it. The pilots have recliners upstairs and the flight attendants have bunks. So if we have a look around with head tracking, we can see we're just coming out over the coast of Denmark. We go and scoot past Amanda for a moment. Let's see what she can see out of her window. I can jump back in our seat now. Sorry about that, Amanda. Okay, how are we doing on the plan? Let's go and keep an eye on this now. We're getting close to having to get things right. So we're more or less there. Let's go and go a little bit higher on the speed brakes to descend a little bit faster. It's interesting, isn't it? Because the descent profile is nowhere near the constraints. Because on the flight plan, we have to be below 120. So next thing to look up, I guess, would be the transition altitude. We can find that out on the ILS chart, can't we? 5,000 feet, and the local barometric pressure in Copenhagen open airport weather is going to be 1012 or 2988 inches. We are operating in inches, so 2988 we have to remember once we pass through the transition altitude.
Alpine 14 Quebec Bravo, Copenhagen Control, contact Copenhagen approach on 118.455.
So let's go and put the
approach on 118.455, Alpine 14 Quebec Bravo.
Seatbelts are on auto at the moment. Let's go and put them on. Yeah, I don't think SayIntentions is. They've got a problem going on, I think, because we're getting nothing from the cabin crew talking up to the passengers. They would have already told them about putting the seatbelts on with it on auto, I would imagine. So this is rather an interesting arrival, that we're coming in and we're going to do a kind of this racetrack, come back on ourselves and then turn in. But this is going to be vectors, so we continue on heading mode at this point and wait for instruction. We don't turn in automatically. So we need to get to, just looking at this, 2,000 feet for the beginning of, for CH4LF, 3,000 feet for BEDUM. So it's pretty much a straight line in, isn't it? Looking at the arrival, so we were given 4,000, there we go, look, for Erpak, that's what they're really aiming for. The end of the arrival is 4,000 feet. So once we get through the course of VOR, we'll descend, we'll move the target to 4,000 feet.
Copenhagen Control, Air France 59er Bravo X-ray, flight level 390.
Virtual 01, Copenhagen Control, contact Copenhagen approach on 118.455.
Contacting Copenhagen approach 118.455, virtual 001. Good day. Copenhagen approach, virtual 001, with you descending through Corsa to flight level 040 at Erpak on the TUDLO 3A arrival, runway 04 left.
Virtual 01, Copenhagen approach identified. God after midday, expect the ILS runway 22 left approach into Kastrup.
They've changed it. Expecting runway 22 left approach into Castro, requesting vectors, virtual 001.
Virtual 001, descend altitude 3000, turn left heading 035 vectors for the ILS runway 22 left approach.
Descend 3000, turn left 035, vectors for the ILS runway 22 left approach, Virtual 001. Yeah, so our plan has gone out the window.
Copenhagen control on 124.555, Scandinavian 7673.
And turn left 035. Let's see what they're going to do to us then. So from here we're going from here 35 degrees, so they're taking us basically straight out away from the airport, and then they'll bring us back in and vector us, I guess. So I've removed the spoilers. We'll do a flight level change down to 3,000 feet. Got plenty of time now. So our carefully orchestrated plan from Simbrief has been thrown out of the window by the weather. Yeah, just looking at what Mr. Joe said there about the speed.
747, descend altitude 3000, turn right heading 050 vectors for the ILS runway 22 left approach.
So in busy airspace.
Descend 3000 feet, turn heading 050, Lufthansa 747.
In a busy airspace, say intentions, will speak faster.
5071, we are at 1,600 feet, climbing 5,000.
Lufthansa 747, turn left heading 020.
So coming down to 10,000 feet, so landing lights are coming on. So we can ignore our plan. We're being vectored into the opposite end of the airport, which is why I immediately asked for vectors. We can go and program in the change. So if we go to departure arrival, and we're going to go for ILS, was it 22 left?
Virtual 001, turn right heading 060.
Turning right, heading 060, virtual 001. So from here, they're telling us now to go on that vector. They're bringing us in, look, to then turn us in at the last moment. So ignore this, we're actually going out to here. This could be cleaned up if we wanted to, we'll just leave it there. We know, oh, we need to go and retune the radio, don't we, to 22 left. So 109.5217, that should be correct because we've just put the approach in. Let's go and look at that in Navigraph. Have I still got it running? Yes. So we want to go to airports, charts, approaches. We want 22 left ILS chart. We want to pin it and look at it.
Copenhagen departure, easy
109.5217 degrees.
5,000 feet.
109.5217 degrees, perfect.
Easy 1123, climb flight level 220.
So we should see the airport soon. It's going to be, oh, it's going to be in the cloud, just over there somewhere. We're going to fly past it and then turn around. have a look at it on the map. It's right on the edge of that peninsula, which is right behind the cloud. We can't see it. Okay, let's get some speed off because we're going to be asked to do a steep turn in a bit. There's the airport. And we also want, we're coming down to 5,000 feet, so we're back to 2988, wasn't it? That's just warning us about the speed brakes. Has that done that both sides? Yeah, 2988 is on the other side as well. So I've gone for first stage of flaps. We should go for 1 degree, yep. Sure, you can see the airspeed limit is coming in. Let's go for 5. Has this got the table? Yeah, it's over here, look. 245 knots for 5 degrees, 230 for 15. Oh, it's going insufficient fuel again. That might be a bug in the aeroplane, you know, because we've got more than enough. If we go and look on legs and go to flight data, look, we've got tons. Even if we were flying around the houses. So this is going to get us to about 3,000 feet. At about the point we do a sharp right turn. I'll be interested to see if they ask us to turn left to square off the approach, or if it will just be a sharp right turn directly onto the approach path. The controls have gone wrong again, look. So that is definitely a bug. We saw that at the start, where I moved the controls and I had to flex them through their full movement before they started working properly. And that's actually kicked in with the auto throttles not working, look. There's a few bugs in this aeroplane. Okay, so if we can't trust auto throttle, I might have to disengage it. That is completely ignoring that it's on. Okay, we're going manual. I'll take over for the control of the throttles. So the aeroplane isn't without issues at the moment. Let's bring the speed back up to or the power back up to maintain speed. The okay, there's our target altitude, it's just lit up when we got within 900 feet of it. I wonder at what point they'll tell us to turn.
Level 250, Scandinavian 431.
Scandinavian 431, say again please. It seems like there was a misunderstanding.
Climb 530 Scandinavian 431.
Finnair 410, climb and maintain flight level 270.
Virtual 001, turn right heading 090.
Turning right heading 090, virtual 001.
Virtual 001, 8 miles from Charlie Hotel to Lima Foxtrot. Turn right heading 145, descend altitude 2000 until established on the localizer. Cleared for the ILS runway 22 left approach.
Turn right heading 145, descend altitude 2000 until established on localizer. Cleared for the ILS runway 22 left approach, virtual 001. So we're going to carry on this way for a moment. We're going to descend 2,000 feet. And flight level change to bring us down now. I'm having to go, something went wrong with the throttles, I've had to switch them off, so I'm having to fly it myself. And we'll try to judge this turn-in. So we can see there's the localizer already showing up. We haven't got a glide slope showing up yet. Has it got a glide slope? Let's have a look. Yes, it has. So we're going to be doing a sharp right turn in a moment. So let's start bringing it around.
$2,500.
Climb and maintain flight level 160, pin 7 Roma X-ray.
Pin 7 Rome X-ray, contact Sweden control on 124.155.
Contact Sweden control 124.155.
So you can see the glide slopes coming in.
50 have visual approach to the
Gear is down. Okay, approach mode engaged. There's the runway. So it should unwind the bank.
Virtual 001, contact Kastrup Tower on 121.83.
Contacting Kastrup Tower, 121.83, good day. Kastrup Tower, virtual 001, engaged on localizer, approach runway 22 left.
Virtual 01, Kastrup Tower identified. Virtual 01, Kastrup Tower, winds 180 at 5, runway 22 left, cleared to land.
Okay, I'm going to take over completely. Clear to land, virtual 001. We have to do that, don't we? So, we have control. And let's try and straighten the camera up. Not always the easiest thing in the world to do. So we're just about fast enough. Going to go full flaps. Fully manual because we had a few issues with the aeroplane and I don't trust it. Let's So we're just looking at the markers here. We can put this onto approach mode, which will give us the easy symbology to look at for the center line and the glide slope. Let's have a look from outside while we've got a moment. It's a beast, isn't it? Right, I need to look at what I'm doing. So we are blowing off to the... It might be an offset ILS actually. Just getting the center line back in the middle. While we're looking out the window, we're going low and slow. Just getting a feel for it. I've never landed this aeroplane before, so this is going to be a learning experience. Looks like the PAPIs are going to agree with the ILS, which seems to be true all of the time now in the simulator. It wasn't always. A little bit high. Excuse me. I haven't done a checklist. I haven't done a landing checklist. That's why it's complaining at us on the screen. Okay, we just visual now.
100. 50. 30. 20. 10.
How much will it drift? There it goes, it's just sinking now. Sinking onto the wheels. That's reversers coming in. And brakes. Got down in one piece, which wasn't guaranteed. Seeing as we had to come in fully manually.
Kastrup Tower, welcome to Kastrup. Contact ground on 121.63.
Contacting ground 121.63, virtual 001, thank you. Kastrup ground, virtual 001, requesting taxi to parking.
Virtual 001, taxi to A7 via Bravo 4, Bravo 5, Bravo, cross runway 12, then Yankee Mike. Good day.
I can't. This is the problem with head tracking. If the click spots are small and you're moving your head and the aeroplane's moving, it's a recipe for disaster. Let's go and have a look at the route they've just given us. So we'll just confirm that. Taxi to Alpha 7 via Bravo 4, Bravo 5, Bravo, cross runway 12, then Yankee Mike. Virtual 01. So let's go and have a confirm where that route actually is on the map. So we're here. Bravo 4. Yeah, we're on Bravo 4. Bravo 5. Cross runway 12. Then Yankee and Mike. Am I going blind? I can't see Yankee. Interesting. What other charts can we get of the airport? Taxi charts. We want Alpha 7, don't we? They said. Oh, we're looking in the wrong place. Let's just double check. Well, that makes no sense. Unless the scenery doesn't match. There's Alpha 7, sorry. There's Mike. Okay, there's Yankee. As soon as we zoomed in, we could see them. Okay, so we just carry on. And where have we disappeared to on here? Follow own ship. Oh, there we go. So we go along Bravo, across the runway, then Yankee, and then Mike to Alpha 7, which is up in the corner. Okay, let's see if we can find our way. Oh, it helps if you take the parking brake off. And there's somebody coming directly towards us. Are they going to turn off? Or are we going to have to divert? Didn't tell us to turn off to Charlie, did they? Alpha 7 via Bravo 4, Bravo 5, Bravo. Where are you going then? So we cross past this taxiway to the one behind it, which is Yankee, and then Mike is over there somewhere.
Zulu Sierra, request VFR to ESSB.
Royal Duke 90 Echo Zulu, Sierra Kastrup ground. Cleared out of the Copenhagen Bravo airspace. Maintain VFR at or below 1500 feet.
Where are we hearing that on the ground frequency?
120.255. Squawk 3262.
Kastrup ground, virtual 001, requesting permission to cross runway 12.
Virtual 001, cross runway 12 approved.
So that's Zulu that we're just crossing, and then Yankee is behind it. we turn left, and then we look for Mike on the right-hand side. Once we slide the aeroplane around this corner, going far too quickly. So Mike is the third turning on the right. Should be this one. And A7's over in the corner, or Alpha 7. So this is Mike. It's going to be a bit of a tight fit with the 777, isn't it?
Scandinavian 1407 requesting close the flight.
So we'll have to swing out and back in.
1407 taxi to stand Bravo 9er via Papa Quebec. Have a good day.
Thank you very much. And Scandinavian 1407 is shutting down the radio.
Scandinavian 1407 understood. Good day.
Okay, parking brake is on, and that's reflected in the cockpit, which is always good. We don't have to tell ground that we're on the blocks in this simulator, or within SayIntentions, I should say. So we can just go to ground operations and set the chocks, request ground power, and rather than using the APU to come off the engines while we're sitting here, we'll just wait for, so ground power is now saying release. So we can go and switch over to ground power, and then we can just shut the engines down. And have a look overhead and see what we can go turn off. So window heat can come off, Adiru can come off, the hydraulic systems can come off, the fuel pumps can come off. Turn the seatbelt signs off, let everybody go and run riot around the cabin now. That was all on auto, wasn't it, to begin with? The emergency lights can go off. Done Adiru, done the window heat, I think they're pretty much there. The lights are all off. Taxi light off, that should have been off immediately we pulled in actually.
Kastrup ground, Scandinavian 716, stand Charlie 29 ready for push and start.
Okay, so I'll leave it on the external power with
Scandinavian
some of the systems still up.
Ground, push and start approved, face south.
I'm not sure if we get control over things like the jet bridge or things like that in the tablet. Jetway connection, request it. Will it work? Yes, it will. Fantastic. Presumably we get to do the doors then as well.
Push and start approved, face south, Scandinavian 716.
Not bad. Anyway, there we go, a first flight in the Boeing 777-200LR in Flight Simulator 2024, and it was pretty good. There were a few little bugs there to do with the aeroplane, I think, as much as anything. A few things to do with system load going on at SayIntentions, but the ATC worked wonderfully, and they gave me great vectors and great instruction. I just had to go fully manual in the end because the aeroplane was acting up a little bit. The autopilot went a bit up the wall. Well, not the autopilot, the auto throttle. The aeroplane obeyed my instructions though wonderfully, and it was easy to control by hand as well.
Cleared for push and start.
So there we go. I'm going to go and have something to eat. I've not actually eaten today yet. I haven't had any breakfast either. So I'll see you all again soon. Take care, and thanks ever so much for Brian for the feedback along the way. Obviously, I can't imagine the server loads you guys are having to try to deal with, and also trying to develop it at the same time. But yeah, but the actual air traffic services part of the flight was fantastic, and the vectoring was brilliant when they changed runways on us on approach. So yeah, there we go. See you again soon. Take care.